Hi everyone, welcome. It's February 1st and we're going to start in 3 minutes. We're so excited, you can't believe. It's going to be about northern Japan. And we're going to talk also about the Peregrine falcon, and Rebecca's got some incredible questions for you again. So we are so looking forward to the stream. So I'll be quiet and we'll see you in just about 1.5 minutes. So welcome everyone. Okay, so let's get... Okay, hi everyone, here we are again. So we're excited. It's Rebecca and myself, and it's February the 1st, and it's very exciting, very nice to see you all on Facebook and on YouTube, and also on Periscope. We're live again. This is a very special one because exactly in 1 week I will be off to northern Japan. It's probably the most epic trip that I'll be taking in my whole life. I mean, I've been to the Aleutians, which was incredible, but this is something that we're so much looking forward to because it's together with David Hancock, who I purposely did not invite. Why did I not invite him? Because he gets so excited. He's going to tell you everything about northern Japan. So by the time we get there, there's nothing more to say. You say, I don't need to know. David's told us everything. Okay. So that's why I have excluded David. Not purposely, but I need something to broadcast. Okay, the guy just knows everything. He just knows everything. And anyway, it's so wonderful. So we're going to talk a little bit about Japan, just give you a bit of teasers on it. Then I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, Rebecca has some interesting things on peregrine falcons. And before we do that, I'm just going to quickly tell you, because we're going to a very quiet place in northern Japan. It's really in the middle of nowhere. I'm very excited, and we'll be talking about that and talking about quiet places. I wanted to say that every morning before I start my work, I take the dogs out on a small walk, 20 minutes around the block. And there's something that I noticed because, you know, that's a time where I really want to concentrate on the environment, being outside. And when I was walking, I noticed, you know, there are always these children and these mothers and fathers who take their children to work. And one thing I noticed is they all look like this. And if you came from another planet, you would think there's a stick with a carrot that they're all trying to follow. But in reality, what they're doing is they're staring into their phone. And I think, what is this? There's so much going on in the environment, you know, small details that we seem to miss every time. And let's just make sure we have everything. Wait, 1 second, I just have to... Oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. That's Suzanne also there. I wanted to say hello also quickly to Susie Q and to Jenny Bob. Thanks for helping here. Really, really highly appreciated. So anyway, the story then goes, so I watched them and they're all, I mean, I don't walk particularly straight because I'm very tall, but they really have this protruded ET neck, you know, where they're staring at their, staring at their phones. And I was wondering, you know, this is so different the way I grew up. And I was wondering, Rebecca, what's your view on this?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It reminds me of last year. I was on my way to work and I was taking the SkyTrain.
Right.
So it's like half hour into downtown Vancouver.
Okay, louder.
And it was just like I was there ready to just talk to whoever was on the SkyTrain, just like, you know, observing things. And everybody around me was just staring at their phones, didn't want to have anything to do with anybody, had their earbuds in. And one lady I tried to talk to, she just glared at me. I was like, this is just not...
But isn't this your generation? This is the way you'd grow up, right? Isn't it? Or is it not?
I think I was a little bit before it was this bad. But it's not just young people. Like you're saying moms and dads. Like I see older people that are walking down the street stuck to their phone. Yeah. So I don't know if it's just nowadays, like everything's so convenient on your phone that you feel like you have to be connected.
Yeah, and I know it seems like super important, but you know, I can tell you that the moment I didn't receive any more emails when I gave up my very important job was the happiest moment in my life, because I didn't have to read all these silly emails all the time, because I didn't want to feel important. I wanted to do something that is just looking at nature, right? And so it's very difficult for me to understand. It's insane. I see lots of comments coming in here. Beautiful artwork, isn't it? Yes, it is beautiful artwork, and that's what we should be seeing, all the beautiful artwork of nature, and that's what we're going to talk a lot about. So I'm glad Rebecca thinks differently, but you are an exception to our, you know, to the way people are. But anyway, hi to everyone. So wonderful. I see everybody, and I also want to start because I see Gretchen here. So let's talk. I just received an email from Gretchen, and it was about the Florida nest, you know, one of the favorite nests, of course. Samson has been back. Samson's been back. Yes, I heard that. Amazing. He's been back with A2, live on camera, doing certain things which we will not allude to, right? Anyway, he's been live on camera. Everyone had a great time watching him. And then he disappeared again. Yeah, right. He disappeared. A2 comes in and some other bird came in, some other eagle, and A2 doesn't seem to be too happy about that. But anyway, so nobody knows really what's going on in Northeast Florida unless it's all new, right? If you're used to Romeo and Juliet all the time. So that's quite something. But anyway, let me quickly show you something really nice from Florida. So let me just see if I can blend in, change the background here. Yes. Or let me just, the time, sorry, I still had the time in here. That's not right. Where do I get the clock away? 1 second, what am I doing wrong here? Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now the time is gone because the clock was going backwards. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you something. This was another place I was so much looking forward to visiting. That's the Audubon Society in Florida, and they have this beautiful eagle called Trouble. And you may remember that was one of the first slow motion videos I showed. And Linda has been so nice, and she has sent me some pictures of recently of, let me just get the other image out here of the background. That's better. This is Trouble taking a bath. Isn't it beautiful? That's Trouble taking a bath. That is their icon. That's the showpiece eagle. And I just love it. I love it. So she took some pictures for us. And that's the Audubon Society. That's in Maitland, Florida. So it's not far from Orlando, and one of the places I would have loved to go. My suitcase, as you know, made it, but I didn't. But anyway, she did share these beautiful photos with you. So I just wanted to say hi from Florida, and thank you so much, Linda, for sharing that with us. Right, and now let's jump straight into Japan. Okay, so I'm going to do something if there's anybody who's been to Japan before, and you know what, I forgot to switch on the phone. Now I remember. I always forget something. But I'll fix it, okay? But anyway, it would be nice to hear your views. So I'm just going to show you how this trip from Japan goes. So we live on the 49th parallel, like most Canadians do, right? Everybody wants to stare in the United States, so we look at that line and we all wonder or feel sorry for you or whatever. We look over and say hi. So most Canadians live on the 49th parallel, and that is where Vancouver is. So I'm going to fly with my good friend David Hancock, who is turning 81 on the 1st of On the 1st of April, that's right, 1st of April. So it's absolutely fantastic. He's coming along. And so is Mike Sear. He is an incredibly knowledgeable medical doctor. He works at the Children's Hospital. And it's the three of us who are taking a trip together. And Mike is already, he's very academic and he's very knowledgeable and he's already getting into Japanese and so on. So I won't need a translator. No, we're only joking. Japanese is incredibly complicated. So here goes our flight anyway. And let me try and expand this a little bit. And there's Japan, right? So we're going to obviously take the shortest route, which is goes north, and then we're going to fly. We're going to go first to Taiwan, but anyway, where we're going to land is in northern Japan, and it really looks isolated. So we're going to Sapporo. That's Sapporo, I think that's the way you pronounce it, Sapporo. And I first thought it's a little place, but I looked up. It's 2.5 million people, and what's wonderful about Sapporo. That's the airport where we're going to land. We're going to be there. So we're leaving just on midnight of the 8th of February. So it's 12:40 a.m. So it's 40 minutes into the day, and we're leaving, and we're going to fly all the way to Taiwan and then Sapporo. Hopefully they don't keep us caught in China. You heard of the recent scandals that the Canadian government now has with the Chinese, so we're in trouble again. I always thought being in Canada is good because keep out of trouble, right? That's why we are here. But anyway, let's hope we don't get stuck and we actually make it there. Now, there's a wonderful snow festival there, and that's what I wanted to tell you about, a wonderful snow festival. They make these big buildings out of snow, and I will be reporting live. And you know why I'm so excited? Because the Japanese are so organized. They're so organized. And I'm so excited because what they actually are doing is I got a SIM card today, and it's data unlimited for 16 days, which is exactly the length of my trip, for $50. So if you feel to contribute for that $50, you're very welcome to you're very welcome to do it, because that gives me unlimited speech time to you to broadcast. So it's wonderful. So I have no data restriction, which is amazing. So I will stream this whenever I can. Okay, so we're going to start off with the snow festival, stay there for 2-3 days, and then we're taking one of these fantastic trains across the mountain to a place here called Koshiro. That's right here. So now we're getting right to the northeastern tip of Japan. It gets very interesting. It's getting quite cold there. And this, you can see there's a nature reserve there in green. And this is what is so amazing, because this is, again, thanks to David Hancock, we are going to see Kaisuke Saito is his name. He's a veterinarian, very well known, internationally known. And I don't want to say too much at the moment about this, but he is fantastic. So we have permission to film there. He takes care of Steller sea eagles. Now, Steller sea eagles are the most phenomenal eagles. So I will just show you. See, he's got his own veterinary place. He takes care of most of the eagles in Hokkaido, on the island of the northern part there. And you can see statistics on Steller's eagles, white-tailed eagles. I have to think of Lady Hawk. White-tailed eagles, we're thinking of smaller in Norway. Thanks again for organizing this wonderful interview that we had a few months ago, or was it a year ago? And thank you very much. But thank you, Carrie Miller. That pays already quite a bit of the speech time for you that I'm going to have in Japan. So thanks a lot. Very nice of you. Thanks for that donation. So anyway, I'm not going to tell you too much, but it's going to be very exciting, and we're going to be special guests there. And I have permission to film there and so on, and give interviews. So I think it's going to be really exciting. This little place of Koshiro, by the way, has a population of 250,000. Oh, and Terry Green, you hit it. So that's my jackpot. Terry Green, you just covered. Oh, so Terry Green and Carrie Miller, thank you so much. You've made my day, because you've just covered all my roaming costs for Japan in one go, and that means you're going to hear a lot of me until you're sick and tired. You'll have David Hancock and everybody talking a lot. So it's really exciting. So anyway, I won't go too much into, and there are these beautiful Steller sea eagles. By the way, Lady Hawk, I have to tell you, these Steller sea eagles are gigantic. They're gigantic. If you think the white-tailed eagle or all bald eagles is big, You wait until you see that one. That's huge. That's huge. And you might remember the movie of the hybrid that I showed from David Hancock. The hybrid between a Steller's, it was a juvenile, right? Between a Steller's and the bald eagle. Well, that shows you the size. I can't wait to show this to you, okay? So we'll be showing all that. I don't want to give away any more, and that's also why I didn't invite my friend David Hancock, because he would tell you so much and there would be nothing left to say. Okay, so excuse that. Okay, so that's all I'm going to tell you, because I'm not going to give away anything. I will broadcast whenever I can. Whenever I can, I promise I will. And I'm so excited to do this. As I said, David Hancock's coming along, Mike Sears is coming along. It's going to be the three of us, and I think it's going to be a fantastic trip. So first comes the Snow Festival in Sapporo, and all the hotels are booked out. It's a big thing. And the Japanese are I'm looking forward also to raw fish. I know many of you say raw fish, but I will do exactly as the Japanese do. So yeah, I look forward to giving you my experience. I've never been to Japan before, so it's an absolute first. I've been to China many times, but not to Japan. So I just can't wait to see the wildlife there and these, all these beautiful cranes. I won't talk about this a lot, but hopefully I'll be sharing the white-tailed eagle with you, the stellar sea eagle, and also the beautiful cranes. I think I've said enough now. And that's the beautiful trip to Hokkaido coming up on the 8th, broadcasting for the first time probably on the 10th, which is your 9th. So that's your Saturday, okay? You'll probably hear for the first time of me in your afternoon. That's right, because it's Sunday there. So probably around in the afternoon when it's morning there already on the next day, okay? So expect something there. Okay, so I'm just going to blend in a number. And you know what? I'm going to just show you the number. I'm going to let Rebecca talk now, and I'm going to try. No, I can't actually do that in parallel. I'm going to try and get the phone going. Just 1 second. Let me just do this quickly. So the phone.
So I can give them an update.
Yeah, I've got it actually. I've got it. I got the phone. Okay. So if you do want to call in, now is the moment. If you want to share anything with us regarding Japan that that excited you about Japan, here's your chance to phone. Okay, so don't make it too long, 2 or 3 minutes, okay? And tell us something exciting. If you've been to Japan, something we shouldn't miss. This is your moment to share it, okay? So there's your number. Thank you, Kathy Harton. Now you've done over 100%. That is so wonderful. Thanks for all your kind contributions. And also thank you very much to all. By the way, we're excited because for the first time we see all the comments here on Facebook. So I just want to say hi to everyone on Facebook. I can see Cadence, Sylvester, Debbie, and so thank you so much. We finally figured out how to see all the comments, so we're so excited that everything's working out, and I think you've got full control of you've got full control of Periscope too. So wonderful. So if you have something to say, you're very welcome to dial in. This is the number, right? That's the number to dial in. Let me blend it out again and put our faces back in. If I can find our faces. Wait a second. Here we are. Yeah, that's good. Let's put a nice happy background. There's a nice happy background. And Rebecca, I'll hand over to you now. Okay, so let's see, Rebecca. Okay.
Yeah, so last week on the show we talked a little bit about the Vancouver Island eagles. Some of them were poisoned. They thought on the North Island maybe from lead, and on the south part of the island maybe from some kind of domestic animal that was euthanized.
Right, that was a big story, right? Yeah.
So there was an update just 2 days ago, and they were able to release 2 eagles back into the wild. One passed away, unfortunately, and then the other 3 are still in captivity, waiting to be released. So. And
does one know anything more about the cause yet? Does one know?
They still need to do some toxicity testing on the animal that they found. But yeah, at least they got to release 2 of them, so that's really good.
Good. Well, that's something positive. Okay, so I'm going to blend in your slideshow now. Let's see if we can do this, Rebecca. 1 second. Yes, there we go. And I'm just going to blend us in here on the side. And you're all good. You're all good to go. Okay. There you go.
So last weekend after the show, I headed here with my boyfriend Reese, and I was curious if anybody can tell what this picture is of or what city this might be.
Oh, what city is this? But that's going to be a difficult one. So is anybody going to guess?
Yeah, maybe some of our Vancouver area residents might recognize this spot.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy for you. That's not an easy one. Where's Pacific Northwest, Kate? This is something for you. You're absolute nature lover here. I'm going to see if there's anybody on Facebook who may know. Carl, Tim Phillips, Betsy, Jenny's also on there. That's great. So anybody here from Vancouver who knows what this beautiful area is, what are we looking here? That's one of our first questions. Anybody here?
No guesses yet.
No guesses yet. Okay. Well, anyway. Squamish says.
Oh yeah.
Pacific Northwest. Well, Kate would know. I mean, Kate knows everything. Whistler, Amanda Price. That's you're on the right.
Close.
You're in the right direction, right? You're absolutely. I mean, Amanda comes from Texas. You have to think about this. Haynes, no.
That would have been a really far drive for a 2-day trip.
No, but anyway, this is correct. That's Vancouver. It's Squamish is correct, and it's Whistler is in the right area. So go ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to Squamish. My boyfriend's really into rock climbing, and so we did a little bit of rock climbing here. I think that's on the next.
That's the next slide. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So there's me in front of one of the climbing spots, and there's Reese on one of the climbing spots.
Now, what makes you go into such a dangerous sport?
I don't know. He's crazy.
He's you.
Oh, I just followed the boy. Yeah, so he's really good. I'm not so good. Have you ever gone climbing, Chris?
Well, I did upseiling once in South Africa, but only down, and that's very easy. You know, you do go down. Down is always easy. Yeah. Because you will come down, no matter what.
Yeah. Thanks, Glenn Hazelwoody, for the donation.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would have assumed that maybe you did try rock climbing because tall people usually do pretty good. I'm kind of short, so whenever I do bad on a climb, that's just.
But I have gorilla arms, but I don't have the gorilla grip, you know. So I'm not so good at this, you know.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you guys have tried rock climbing before, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of scary, but I always do it when I'm attached to the very top. So if I fall, I'm totally safe.
Really? Okay. Whatever.
But on the next picture, so this is the Squamish Chief, and this is a provincial park, and they get hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. A lot of people to just go rock climbing, and you might be wondering, I thought this show was about eagles and birds, and why are we talking about
It is,
climbing?
and why are we talking about this? Well, so why are we? Is this about Bigfoot? I knew it. Yes.
Bigfoot comes here to climb.
I knew it.
So there's a certain type of bird. If you go to the next slide, I
think. Oh, what a beautiful picture.
If you guys can guess what type of bird this is.
Oh, now what type of... Well, I think they would know that,
yeah, they probably heard you say it earlier.
They heard me say something, right? What beautiful bird is this? Let's see if anybody knows. We're going to wait and see who's going to be the first one to guess what bird this is. Banded, by the way. You can see it.
Yeah. Somebody said, Sandy says she climbed a 4-foot rock one time. That is a certain type of rock climbing. It's called bouldering. So that's fun. Really?
Oh, gorgeous. Yeah. Is anybody Stella sees eagles and so on? It's Peregrine. Well, now comes lots Peregrine, falcon, Peregrine. Yes, lots. For all the way from Northeast Florida, Buddy Scott, D. Lionheart, Pacific Northwest, Kate was the first one, and so on. And an Osprey, Mama, hi to you too, Amanda, and so on. Everybody, got to head out. Amanda, don't worry, that's fine. No, Stellas can only live in Japan. I'm not going to talk a lot about Stellas here because I'm so excited. I'll tell you a lot about that when we're there, okay? So we'll talk about that when we're there. Okay. So anyway, here we go. So that's a peregrine falcon. You're right. Okay?
Yeah. So they're super cool birds of prey. They eat a lot of small and medium-sized birds, so things like robins, pigeons, ducks, and they're really popular with falconry. And the way that they catch their prey is they're the fastest animal alive. They can dive bomb their prey at 200 miles per hour. and they just hold out kind of like a fist or like their talons, and they'll punch their prey in one of the wings so that it wounds them. So they really like to nest on these big tall cliffs that climbers also like.
Okay.
Maybe the
next one.
Oh yeah, and unfortunately they also were very negatively affected by the DDT back in the 60s. So their numbers went down a lot, like the eagles. They had weakened eggshells, and they disappeared from a lot of places.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm talking about rock climbing is because when we went to Squamish, Reese was telling me that a lot of the times they close some of the rock climbing routes due to peregrine falcons nesting on some of the ledges.
Which would be when about, you know?
Like they usually close it between March and July.
Right, that makes sense, of course. Right.
So
okay.
a pretty wide range.
Wow. Okay.
So here's one nested on one of those ledges, and then the next picture.
Okay, the next one, yes.
Yeah, so goofballs like this guy climbing.
Goofballs.
That's Reese. Climb up the mountain, and then if they get too close to the nest, they can scare the parents away, or they might not return to the nest, and the babies will die. Or the climbers can also get hurt because the peregrines will dive bomb them.
Right, so?
Yeah, and so Pacific Northwest Kate is asking, are these nest sites protected from climbers? And that's why we're talking about this.
That's why we're talking about this, right? Right.
So they close them for parts of the year. This is just a map of some of the climbing routes on Squamish Chief. And the red section is the area that's closed, one of the areas that's closed, and the yellow heart is one of the nesting sites.
Just out of interest, I mean, I have no knowledge of climbing. Can you explain, is this a difficult climb as it looks, or is this an easy climb? How do you categorize this even? What is it?
Yeah, so I don't know the most about climbing in this spot. Really, Reese would be the best.
Yeah, but just approximately, what are we looking at?
This wall is huge, so you actually have to do multiple climbs in one day. And once you reach that heart spot, when it's all open, if you go anywhere past that, you can't like wimp out and say you don't want to go anymore, because you've already missed the exit point. So if you get stuck there, you have to be like rescued by search and rescue.
Oh
if you don't
my
make
goodness!
It.
Okay.
So some of them are hard. They're rated in a like 5-point number system. So it goes from 5.4 up to 5.15 kind of thing. So I think a lot of these climbs are around 5.11 or 5.12.
Okay.
But I really don't know the most about
Okay, well but it sounds very difficult, right? Yeah. It sounds very difficult. Anyway, so go on.
Yeah, so this is one of the spots that's closed to the climbers. And a lot of the climbers do it, it's like a voluntary closure, so it's not actually set out by BC Parks. It's set out by the Squamish Access Society, which is a group of climbers.
Okay.
So they voluntarily put out these restrictions.
Okay.
And I think on the
next slide.
Yeah,
this is so beautiful. Wow.
So in Squamish, they do that a little bit. There's a few peregrine falcons there, but in this park, there's a whole bunch of different closures and research being done in this park, and I was curious if anybody knows where this place is.
Where this place is, here we go. So we're still talking about Canada, right? Oh, I'm not going to say it. Okay, shush. I said too much again.
Not Canada, so we got a big hint. You guys should be more familiar with this place because it's not in Canada.
But the rock looks so familiar, right?
Yeah, it's very similar familiar type of rock.
Now we're probably looking across the border here. Yes. If anybody knows what's south of Canada. Okay, I'm saying too much. I'm just looking. Kathleen Larson says, weren't falcons reintroduced into places like New York City? Yes, they were. They were definitely, yes. I just see that's a very good question.
Yeah. And in New York City, they'll nest on bridges and like tall buildings instead of on big rock walls like this, which is really cool. They're super adaptable, and they're actually really good to have in the city because they'll eat all those pesky pigeons and stuff.
Yeah, and by the way, thank you very much, Suzanne, just putting a lot of questions here on the Stellar Seagull. I will purposely not answer them because I want you to get excited, just excited as I am. If I'm going to tell you everything, So wait, we will get that live from Japan. I promise you. You know, we will get all that information live from Japan. So I know it's exciting, but I just wanted to say thanks a lot. Okay. So let's jump right back. Yeah, so Yosemite says Kathleen Steele Larson.
Yeah, and on Periscope we have Nature Scoper Eric says Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
A few people say Yellowstone.
And Pacific Northwest says it's Yosemite. And so does Kit say Yosemite. And?
It is Yosemite.
Yes, of course, it's beautiful Yosemite. My goodness.
Yeah.
What a nature paradise. So why do you bring up Yosemite now? Why?
So this is also a big climber's paradise. There's a few movies that came out last year that were all about climbing in Yosemite, which are super crazy. You should watch them. I can't believe people do that stuff. But in Yosemite, let me just double check my notes. I don't want to miss anything that I put together here. Oh yeah. So in Yosemite, they've also got a lot of peregrine falcons. They didn't nest there for a little while, but then they came back thanks to the help of some climbers. So we've got a lot of citizen scientists that watch this show that like watch the eagle cams, and you guys document stuff and send it into biologists. But there's also climbers that are citizen scientists. So down in Yosemite, if we go to the next slide.
Yes. Oh, sorry. No. That was
This is a climber, John Yablonsky, that in the 80s, he helped with another team of climbers, some of the wildlife biologists in Yosemite. They used the climbers to climb up to the peregrine falcon nest.
Right.
They'd remove the weak shelled eggs, so the DDT eggs that weren't going to hatch, and they replaced them with fake eggs, and you can show them a picture on the next.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
So I don't know. I tried to look up photos of the eggs that they used, but this is the closest thing I could find, and these are actually salt and pepper shakers.
It looks like they have the Windows sign on there. No, that's a bad joke, right? Go on.
So these are replica peregrine falcon eggs. This is kind of what they would look like. But the climbers would go up. They'd replace the eggs with these decoys so that the adults would still come back and they'd incubate the eggs. And then
that's clever, right?
Yeah, so that they wouldn't just leave and give up on the nest. And then a little while later, when these eggs were supposed to hatch, they would send the climbers up again with captive bred peregrines.
Isn't that incredible?
And they place them in the nest.
And it works.
And it worked. So they released about 1,000 baby peregrines back into Yosemite.
That's beautiful. What a wonderful way of doing things.
Yeah, because I don't know a lot of wildlife biologists that are good with heights.
No, so that's actually positive. So climbers are working together with biologists here and in a very positive way. That's incredible.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
So that's where you bring us to Yosemite. Now I get it, right? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so that's that. So let's show this video quickly.
I think you have. Oh yeah, there.
Yeah, it is. So what is this video about? Let me just put up the sound a little bit. Maybe it does work. Yeah, we can hear something. Okay, so this is a climber, obviously, right?
Yeah, so this is a climber. Actually, this is a wildlife biologist. I don't know if he's a climber also, but he knows how to rappel at least. And you can hear the chicks in the background. This is in Acadia over in Maine.
So he's actually going down here, right?
Yeah,
I can see that.
He's going down to one of the nests. And he's going to collect some of the chicks.
Right there?
Oh my goodness, what a cliff.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's spool a little bit forward. And a little bit more.
There we go.
Yeah, there he comes. There he comes in. I think it's not even possible without a rope, right? Because it's so slippery and so sandy. So why is he collecting them?
So he's collecting them to take blood samples, feather samples, and to band them so that if they want to track them in the future, they'll be able to look at them with the binoculars.
Wow. And obviously the parents don't seem to mind, right? So because that's often a problem.
So I did see there's another video. It was way too long to play. But there were some climbing students that were helping with the project, and the parents actually showed up while they were at the nest and the climbers narrowly got out of there because the parents were about to dive bomb them.
Wow, wow, wow.
So it's pretty dangerous.
It's pretty dangerous. I mean, not only the dive bomb. Okay, so obviously he's making his way up again here. Let's just see. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it. Okay. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Right, so we got that one, and let's just jump back to your slideshow. Is there anything else, or was that the end? Oh,
yeah, so
whoa,
that's
whoa.
just about the peregrines.
Yeah, that was about the peregrine. Do you want to jump in the next one, or what's your flag?
Yeah, I think that's good, unless people have stories.
Do you have any quiz questions on this, or?
I do have quiz questions. Should we do them now? One of them now, or?
Well, no, let's do them later. Okay, just hang on. Okay, go on. Okay.
So Susan North says there's a walkway at a university that has a peregrine nest every year.
Oh, okay.
So lots of live in the city.
Okay, but now we see a beautiful area and now the question is, again, this is a difficult one. Where is this place? Where is this beautiful place? Okay, now let's see who can answer this first. I'm very curious. I'm going to look on Facebook, and I'm going to look on, let's just see, where's off. Oh, the Facebook page jumped again. Oh, gosh. Let me see. Where were we? Let me just try. Ah, here we are. I got it back. Okay, so where's this beautiful place? Maximus Eagle Owl joined too. Hi, that's very nice. Kurt joined. That's very nice that you joined here on Facebook too. He, by the way, knows where we're going in Japan, and he sent me some beautiful documentation on Saito. Very nice to see you here. Very good. Banff says, Heather Lewis, you are smart. And let's see who else says something. Pacific Northwest case says Mount Robson. Amanda says Colorado. Tree Climb says Detroit. Wyoming would be because Montana. Tetons, Banff. Okay.
Yeah, so this is Banff.
It's Banff, Canada.
This is
Alberta.
At Moraine Lake, and it's called the Valley of the 10 Peaks.
Oh.
And so an interesting fact about this place, well, this is Canada's first national park, so we're way behind the Americans. This is like 1885 when we got our first park. But this is in Alberta, and on the next slide you can see this actually...
So, wait, we have to stop 1 second. This is an astronomy paradise. I just have to mention that. If you see these beautiful... I will go there one day too. If you see the beautiful Milky Way being mirrored there, that is often an astrophotographer's paradise. So you will see them spending at night out there. Well, maybe not even alone, right? Mm-hmm. So here we go. Yeah.
So this is the same place. Valley of the 10 Peaks was on the back of the Canadian $20 bill a couple times. So that's kind of interesting. But we're not here to talk about money. We're here to talk about wildlife. So in Banff, there's a lot of grizzly bears.
Wow.
Have you ever seen a grizzly bear before?
Yes, I have, but only actually on was it? It's not Mount Seymour. Which one is it? Which?
Cypress?
Yes,
Grouse?
That's right. Grouse. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's grouse. So it's semi wild, right? It's but never black bears. Yes, I ran into black bears, and I can tell you some stories, but never against not a grizzly. Is there, by the way, anybody who has run into a grizzly? You're very welcome to call us. I want to know. So I'm just going to blend in the phone number very quickly. 1 second. I'm just going to blend us out. But if you want to tell us your encounter with a grizzly, you are welcome to call right now. We want to hear your view on your encounter with a grizzly. Here you go. Here's your chance. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it in a bit. But go on. Tell us more.
So
Rebecca. Yeah.
So just to clarify again, that was Moraine Lake. So it's just right beside Lake Louise, but it's a slightly different spot. So we've got the grizzly bear here. There's lots of them in Banff National Park, and every year there's a whole bunch of conflicts with these grizzly bears. So if you go to the next picture, there's always these things. They're called bear jams. So it's like a big traffic jam.
Bear jams, really?
Yeah, on the highway, and it's all tourists that are being kind of silly, like actually pretty dumb, getting out of their cars, getting super close to the bears and trying to take photos of them. There's even people that try to like put their kids onto wild animals in the parks and take photos. Which I
can just see Gentleman Ghost says, I'm scared to death of grizzlies. Well, if a ghost is scared of grizzlies, what can I say? It must be really terrific. Okay. So
Yeah, so these guys, like, fortunately, the people were totally safe. Like, nobody got hurt in these instances, but this really isn't smart, and it's actually really bad for the grizzly bears.
Sure.
So, I was curious to hear if any of you guys, it doesn't have to be grizzly bears, but black bears or any type of bears, if you've had them in your backyard.
Yeah, there you go. If you have anything in your backyard to report, here's the number. We're waiting for you. Okay, 425-223-4960. That's 425-223-4960. Give us a call and tell us your grizzly story. Okay, let's go on. No one so far. Go on. Okay, you want to jump to the next slide or?
Yeah. Okay. So why are we talking about bears? Yep. So there's lots of conflicts up in Banff. This is just for Alberta. So for Alberta, every year between 20 and 30 bears are destroyed because of humans being silly, like attracting them into close range with humans or being poached or whatever. And in BC, it's even worse. So in BC last year, there's about 430 bears that were destroyed, all because of people. So
yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah. If that's only our area, right? So
yeah. So who knows? Like all over America, there's probably a whole bunch more. But the weird thing about Banff is the town of Banff on the next slide. Has this kind of weird...
Beautiful, yeah.
There's kind of a weird loophole where the town is exempt from the park almost.
So you're talking about a special legislation only for this, or policy only for the town here, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
So in the national parks, it's illegal to feed wildlife. But in the town of Banff, they're exempt from the park laws pretty much.
I can imagine what comes now.
Yeah. So it's not as bad as it sounds. It's not like some people do hand feed bears, which is really bad. But in the town, you're allowed to have bird feeders up. And a lot of people don't know that bird feeders are actually a really big attractant for bears.
That doesn't quite make sense. I mean, there's a bit of a size difference here.
Yeah.
So, wow. So why would they eat bird seed?
Yeah, you'd wonder why, like, what's so attractive about bird seed.
Yeah, why?
But bears have to eat a lot in order to put on enough weight.
And sure, they're vegetarians, right? So
yeah, they're vegetarian. They eat
Are they really vegetarians?
They're omnivores.
Oh, omnivores.
So
okay,
that means that they eat plants and
meat.
Right. But mostly plants.
Okay.
But bird seed can give them almost all of their calories
they eat fish,
for the
of course.
day.
I should know that. Grizzlies, right? So,
yeah.
Sure.
So they need a lot of calories. Right. Bird seed has a lot of calories in it. And so having bird feeders up in your yard can attract bears. And we can see that on the next picture. So
what an insane picture. They're terrific climbers.
Yeah.
Terrific climbers.
So to get to my point is I want to hear what your guys' opinion. The town of Banff is proposing a ban on bird feeders. So they don't want to have anybody putting bird feeders out at any time of year. So I was curious if in the place where you guys live, if you guys have any laws like that, or if there's been anything proposed like that.
Yeah, so again, you're very welcome to call in. That's the number. So anything you have to share on bears legislation this time, just give us a call. Now, I do hope the phone is working. If not, give me a sign, please, here in the, on the chats. We're watching all three chats, and just say, Christian, your phone's not working. Then at least I know. But if you want to share your bear story or the legislation story, please call in.
Yeah, I know somebody has a bear story out there.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you my quick bear story in the meantime. This is a true story, by the way. It's a true story. It happened when I was on Vancouver Island, and I went to Port Hardy to photograph bald eagles. What else, right? That was many years ago, and I had no idea that they were not only bald eagles. So I went out very early in the morning. It was about 5 a.m., completely in the dark, to be sure that I capture everything. And I remember opening the door, putting my camera there, and I just said, gee, this looks like such a black thingy. I don't know what this is. There's something in my way there. And I tried to walk and see what it is. And at that moment, I realized that was a huge black bear. And fortunately, the black bear... Oh, here we have a call coming in. That's great. And the black bear ran in the other direction. So 1 second, I'm just going to see if we can answer this. Hopefully this works. 1 second. Hello? Oh, let's try again. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, whom am I speaking with?
My name is Mandy.
Mandy, very welcome. I'm so glad the phone's working. I was worried.
It's working.
It's working. Mandy, that's great. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually in South Dakota.
Okay. What's the weather like?
Not bad today. 40 degrees. We all wore our shorts and t-shirts.
40 degrees, but you're not talking about Celsius. You're talking about Fahrenheit. Because in Rio it's 50, but it's Celsius, okay? So I know that. I happen to know that. Okay, so if you walk around with 40, you must be a true Canadian. Okay, walking around in shorts.
Hey, I'm close. I'm from Michigan, so that's why I'm calling.
Okay, well, tell us, what is your bear story?
I used to vacation a lot up in Michigan because that's where I'm from, and we ran into a lot of black bears. They'd get into the garbage. They would cross the roads. I was never interested in ever actually meeting one.
But it did happen?
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of black bears in upper Michigan.
Okay, so tell me, are you more scared of a black bear than a grizzly, or...
I'd probably be scared of both because I've never come in contact with a grizzly bear, but a black bear is scary enough.
And what happened?
They just kind of stand and stare at you, and I don't like it. It's just kind of one of those things where you're just like, yeah, I don't think we're on the same, wavelength here. So you just let them be and do their thing and walk away.
So what did you do? What did you do?
The thing is they kind of mind their own business, but they're threatening enough to where you're just like, yeah. I mean, if you walk up to them and you get close to them, and if you show any kind of threat to them, they're gonna respond. But
so how did you get?
It's just kind of one of those things. Like, it's a bear. So you're just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to go the opposite way. So
the opposite way, but what do you actually do? Do you face the bear when you go the opposite way, or do you turn around? How do you do it?
The one time that I actually faced one, we were on the highway, and he was walking across the road behind us, and I said to stop. So we got out of the car, and he just kind of looked at us, and we walked towards him, and he kind of started walking towards us, so we're just kind of like, yeah, we're out of here. I'm not trusting that.
Wow. So do you have many black bears in your area then?
Not currently, no. I haven't seen any bears in our area here. We have a lot of deer. We have eagles. We have hawks.
Wow, nice.
Not in South Dakota.
And are you out?
Not on this side of South Dakota. I'm on the east side. The west side, yes, they have bears, but I don't have them on the east side.
Right. And are you outside a lot?
Yeah, I love the wilderness. I feed a lot of animals and birds and stuff. So, I mean, I've had a wild turkey in my backyard. I've had a turtle. I have a mallard couple that visit yearly.
Nice.
No bears.
Nice.
No bears.
But you haven't been suffering from the huge cold that we had in Chicago, and I just see Gentleman Ghost talking about New York and all that. Has it also struck your area?
On Wednesday, the wind chill got as low as -60.
What? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. Crazy.
Yeah. I told my kids today it's like 100-degree difference outside, and they were like, "Oh, can I wear shorts?" I'm like, "No."
Wow. Well.
But yeah, it was bitter cold.
Wow. Is there anything you want to ask, or Rebecca? Or...
I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on, Mandy. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, my in-laws, they have a big farm here, and I would love for them. They have a couple of eagle nests, and I would love for them to maybe stream one of those live one day, but we'll see. I'm still trying to talk them into that.
Good. Cool. Well, that's great. Well, it's very nice having you. Thank you, Mandy, for being here, being on the show, and thank you so much for the contribution. That was great. And I think you were the one of the first from South Dakota. I think that we haven't had before, but I can see there are lots of comments coming in, how cold it is in Wisconsin and so on and so on. So there's a lot of talk here about the cold that we're presently having, right? So it's incredible. Yes.
Yeah, I think they're witnessing a lot of what we witnessed here. So yeah.
Wow, that is severe. Well, thank you so much, Mandy, for calling in. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah,
Oh,
thanks for having me.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, well, that was a call from South Dakota. That was Mandy. Thank you very much. That was great. So there you go. I think that was wonderful to hear the personal experience. Well, Rebecca, have you ever run into a black bear?
Yeah, I've run into black bears a whole bunch of times.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to work for Bearware, so my whole job used to be like teaching people what to do if they see bears.
Okay, so what do you do? I don't know.
How to stop bears from coming into your backyard, because where I grew up, there was bears everywhere. So yeah, the main thing is just like don't attract a bear in the first place.
Yeah, sure.
So, but
then,
if you do see a bear, black bears, it's super easy. You just put up your hands, back away slowly. You can talk to them about whatever you want, like, this is my ice cream, get out of here. Or
how about I'm scared?
Yeah, I'm scared, leave me alone.
I think that's the most honest answer I have, you know.
And like 90% of the time, almost every time I've run into a black bear, they've just turned around and gone the other way. Black bears are adapted to forest environments, and their main defense is just to run away up a tree. So,
well, and they're such good climbers. I mean, if you look at this picture, that is crazy. That is crazy.
So never climb a tree to get away from a bear.
Well, you'll never win.
So yeah, most of the time they'll just go away. I did have an experience one time where a black bear followed me and one of my coworkers. We were working in the forest in northern Alberta, and it was following us. We were backing out. There's logs everywhere, so we're trying not to trip backwards. Always carry bear spray if you're going out into bear territory. Bear spray.
I don't know. Can you get easy? I mean, in Canada, it's very difficult to get bear spray because you need special permission, right? Even that, or
yeah, like in Canada, you just have to fill out a
form. But in the States, I think it's no problem, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the States.
Right.
I think it's easier down there. But yeah, it's always good to just keep it with you. It also makes you feel safer, but make sure you know how to use it.
Should I be more scared of a grizzly or a black bear?
It really comes down to the personal bear. They're all different.
Okay.
But I would say probably black bears are more likely to be predatory, and grizzly bears are more likely to just be defending their cubs. So,
whoops, okay.
So even though grizzly bears look scarier, I think I'd be more afraid of a black bear. But,
yeah, and Gentleman Ghost said, do grizzlies climb trees? I think I heard yes, isn't it?
Yeah.
They do, right? They do.
So a lot of people think that they can't climb trees.
Oh, goodness me, you think they're so big, right?
Yeah, it's just that they grew up in places where there's not a lot of trees, so they have different claws than a black bear. There's a really cool video, we don't have it on right now, but there's a cool video where you can see a grizzly bear chase a black bear up a tree. And they just like sprint up the tree. It's so crazy.
I can see David Gates saying here on Facebook, we have black bears occasionally pass through our yard here in Massachusetts. Well, thanks, David, for that contribution. I don't know whether I should congratulate you or say, wow, David, that's incredible. That's incredible. My aunt gets bear under her bird feeder, says Susan Lamparter in New Hampshire. Ah, interesting. Wow. Okay, so I can see lots of comments coming in. Dolly Queen, one attacked my horse, but the vet thinks she had a cub. Oh, I see. And my horse went after them first. Really?
Wow.
That's a story. Well, there are lots of stories out there, so interesting. Okay, so that brought us to bear. Now, what is the nutritional value then of birdseed, really?
Yeah, I don't know if I can open up a quiz question right now.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You can. Let's open a quick. Let's have some fun. Come.
Yeah. Okay. Come. So this is about bear diets and
bear diets, right?
Most of us know that bears in most places will go to sleep for the winter, so they need to fatten up.
Okay.
In Vancouver, they don't all go to sleep because there's still food, but most of them go to sleep for the winter, so they need to get really fat. And so the question is, how many calories does a black bear need to eat every day when he's preparing for winter?
Can you translate it maybe also into hamburgers that people are more familiar with?
Yeah, so either how many hamburgers a day does a bear have to eat, or how many calories a day does a bear have to eat? And no Googling.
And no Googling. Oh my goodness. So take your guess. Is it 1 Big Mac or 2 Big Macs? What is it, right? Or a double Mac? How much is it? Come on, let's hear some. Let's come on, dial in and tell us. And here you can win, by the way. This is a winning question, right? So you can start winning. It's 425-223-4960. 425-223-4960 is the number to dial in. And the question is, it's a nutritional value of birdseed also, right? What is the equivalent, right? That he has to eat also birdseed, or how many calories does he consume, or how many Big Macs would that be? Something like that, right? So we speak everybody's language here.
Yeah, we have a couple of guesses. We've got.
We say every guy, but I'm not going to read out the guesses here because I want people to call in. That's your only way of winning, is to call in, right? So even Susan here on, I'm not going to read out what you think it is. I'm going to put the number in again, and we want you to dial in and tell us, okay? Tell us how much it would be and how that compares to your diet, okay? Can they beat your diet? Oh, well. Well, you know, all I have to think of, Rebecca, I don't know how much a grizzly eats, but if you see that they have these beautiful cameras on, no, it's not Waldorf. What is it now? Gosh, the name escaped me. But you can see these grizzlies just eating one salmon after the next. It's incredible. So they eat a lot. Right? So,
they're really sloppy eaters, though.
Sloppy eaters, right?
When I've seen the cameras of the grizzlies, they just chomp the belly and throw the rest of the salmon away. They just eat the bellies of all the salmon.
Well, that's wow. Well, why not, right? Yeah. You can afford it. Okay, so who's going to call in? Is anybody going to call in? Nobody dares to call in, but they all put, there's some good guesses there. That's all I can say. If nobody wants to call in, I take a veggie burger, says Dia Leinhardt. You can also put it into veggie burger diets. It doesn't matter. Okay?
Or chicken nuggets. Somebody on Periscope says chicken nuggets. So.
Chicken nuggets, that's fine. And if you really don't like cold fish like David Hancock and you insist on Kentucky Fried Chicken when you're in Japan, which I will not do, by the way, then you can also translate it into how many Kentucky Fried Chickens these would be, okay? So there we go. Okay, so nobody's phoning in. That's okay. You don't have to call in. So we'll keep that question, but you can call in anytime. So we'll just keep it open and we'll give you another question in the meantime. So that's the first quiz question. Nobody wants to call in. Do you have another quick quiz question?
Yeah, I can do one related to Peregrine falcons.
Yes. Was this the last picture, by the way?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's
that
it.
one. Yeah, so Peregrine falcons.
Okay, let's go back to the Peregrine falcon. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's do this one. It's so beautiful. Okay, here we go.
So this one's super relatable to this photo. I'm wondering if anybody knows what type of nest a peregrine falcon uses. So the name for the type of nest that a peregrine falcon uses. Oh,
wow. For the type, that's the second question. The first one is how much was it black bear, right?
Yeah.
Black bear eats per day in calories, or Big Macs, or veggie burgers, or Kentucky Fried Chicken. And the other one is, what is the name of the nest for a peregrine falcon? Those are the two questions, okay? So we're going to give you a few minutes, and if nobody knows the answer, that's also fine. Then there's just no winner, okay? Then next time my quiz question will come straight from Japan, okay? So whatever, and then I'm going to ask you lots of questions, okay? Like, what's the Japanese word for? No, anyway, because I won't know the answer.
And you won't be able to type that one in because you probably don't have Japanese characters on your keyboard. Okay, well, we see lots of guesses. Maximus Eagle Owl says they don't build a nest. Yeah, so they don't build a nest. They're very lazy. But
they're very lazy. That's a good answer, right?
There is a name for the type of nest.
The type of nest that they do. So Maximus has definitely got it. Yeah, Jenny's just putting out the number again: 425-223-4960. And you're very welcome to call in, but you don't have to. Okay, there's no There's absolutely no obligation to call them. So that's fine. Okay. Well, if there's nobody, you know what? Let them dial in the meantime if they wish to. But let's go on to the next point.
Okay. So the next point is the book review.
The book review. Here we go.
Yeah, so let us know if you guys like...
Oh, here it goes.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, that always happens. It always happens. Okay, we're going to answer it. Okay. Hello?
Hi, Christian. Susie Q here.
Well, thank you, first of all, Susie Q. Thank you for moderating. It's really wonderful. Doing a great job. You're putting in such great comments. That's very kind of you. So much appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so
Am I able to guess, or you want to get somebody else?
No, you are able to. But which question do you want to answer?
I'm a fan of black bears, so I'm going with...
Okay, the black bear. Hang on, I'm going to put them in the picture of the black bear then. Wait a second.
Okay.
Let me just put that in the background so everybody knows. If I can get it. Oops. Now, how did I do this again? How did I do this? That is not a black bear. Silly me. Wait a second. Let me just go back here. There we go. Let me go back to the black bear that was on the... Here we go. That's a beautiful picture of the black bear hanging. So the question is, do you want... Are you going to answer it in Big Macs, Kentucky Fried Chickens, or in calories, or in birdseed numbers?
No, I'm going to give you the real number of calories.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know how many calories are in Big Mac. I stay away from them.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to say at least 15,000, but probably 20,000.
Ding, 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 ding.
Is that right?
That's correct.
You got it.
Thank you very much.
You got it. So how many Big Macs is that?
So the answer is
Probably
around...
one.
Yeah, just one.
You're right, or maybe half, eh?
So the correct answer is about 20,000 calories.
20,000.
Hamburgers is about 70 hamburgers, and Big Macs are a lot more calories than a regular hamburger, so that's around 35 Big Macs a day.
Wow.
So every day.
Every day. How many birdseed? How much was that in kilograms or in pounds?
It's about 7 pounds of birdseed. So, and to compare that, they need 30 pounds of salmon, but only 7 pounds of birdseed. So birdseed's a really easy way for them to find.
Incredible. They're so nutritious. I didn't know that. Wow.
Just like peanut butter. Nuts are very high in calories.
Yeah, that's good. And actually quite healthy. I mean, cold pressed peanut butters are healthy, right? All kinds of things. So, well, Susie, you did a great job. So you will definitely stay online, which I presume you will, to win. Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Appalachian Black Bear Rescue in Tennessee. They rescue when little cubs get separated from their moms, if their moms get killed or whatever. They raise the cubs and release them back into the wild. So
that's awesome.
Have everybody check them out.
Oh, got it. Appalachian
Black Bear.
Black Bear. Got it. Okay, yeah. Put it into the chat, please. Thank you.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did already. Well, you're so efficient. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Stop that wheel on a good picture for me.
Yeah, we'll do that. I will do my best. Okay. I won't show you the picture. I'll just keep on dialing all night. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Christian.
Take care. Bye. Thanks. Well, so we got one answer. We got the Big Mac question. So we know that now. And now comes the, let's go back. Now comes your book review. So we don't need that picture anymore. Do you want me to put the other book in the background for that?
There's a picture of the cover.
Yeah, the book, this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So I took the cover off of mine.
And your book is green, by the way.
Yeah, the book's green, so it blends in at the background. So let us know if you guys like the book reviews. Then I kind of know what to put together. But this book, I read it last summer. And we talked about Haida Gwaii last week on the show, and this book is set in Haida Gwaii for a large portion of it. And it's called The Golden Spruce by John Viant. I'm not sure how to say his name.
So this time we're talking all about trees, right?
Yeah. So it's called The Golden Spruce. It's kind of like a history of British Columbia logging.
Okay.
And it's all kind of surrounds around this sacred tree on Haida Gwaii, the golden spruce.
Beautiful. That's what we talked about. That was incredible. So go ahead. Let's hear it.
So just maybe go to the one next picture. This spruce tree was actually, it had golden needles on it. So it's not just like a made up tree. It actually had, this is a real photo of it. So it's a really interesting tree that's totally unique. And I'll read you guys just a portion of one section where he kind of describes.
Does one know, is this I'm a silly question, but is this an albino tree or what is this actually? What is it even?
Yeah, it's super complicated. There's almost like an entire chapter that talks about the genetics of it at the very end.
Wow.
And how unique it is.
Right.
And how it's super rare that this tree would have grown, but because of where it was, the exact placement made it a lot more likely that it would survive.
Okay.
So it's super interesting, and there's...
Okay, let's hear the super paragraph then. Good.
Super paragraph.
Go ahead.
Shaped like a teardrop and about the size of a grain of sand, the seed would have appeared identical to all the others that had been peppering the forest floor for millennia. Of its cone mates that landed on the heavy moss carpeting much of the forest, only 1 in 100 would germinate. Those lucky enough to land on a nurse log would fare better, but even then the chances were 1 in 3 that they would be killed by fungi within the month. Somehow this anonymous seed with its strange message beat the abysmal odds and managed to take root. The tiny sprig would have been easy to miss in the crowded nursery of the forest floor, surrounded as it was by thousands of other aspiring trees. Not just Sitka spruce, but hemlock, red cedar, yellow cedar, and the occasional yew. At this stage, it would have been dwarfed by everyone, even habitual shadow dwellers like little hands, liverwort, lover's moss, black lily, sword fern, and devil's club, not to mention the dense thickets of salal that can grow 12 feet high and require a machete to penetrate. I want to read one more paragraph because
go ahead. It's so beautiful. It's so beautifully written. Go on.
To look at this seedling, if one could see it at all, and believe that it had every intention of growing into one of the towering columns that blot out so much of the northwestern sky, would have seemed far-fetched at best. In its first year, the infant tree would have been about 2 inches tall and sporting a half-dozen or so pale green needles. It would have been appealing in the same abstract way that baby snapping turtles are, its alien appearance transcended by universal indicators of wild babyhood, utter helplessness, and primordial determination in equal measure. Despite its bristling ruff and a stem as straight as a sunbeam, the seedling was still as vulnerable as a frog's egg. A falling branch, a footstep of a human or an animal, any number of random occurrences could have finished it there and then. Down there in the damp darkness of the understory, the sapling's wonderful flaw was a well-kept secret. With each passing year, it dug its roots deeper into the riverbank, strengthening its grip on life and on the land. In spite of the odds, it became one of a handful of young trees that would survive to shoulder their way into the sunlight, competing with giants 12 feet wide and hundreds of feet tall. In the end, it would be the sun that exposed this tree's secret for all to see. And by the middle of the 1700s, it would have been abundantly clear that something extraordinary was growing on the banks of the Yukon. It was a creature that seemed more at home in a myth or fairy tale, a spruce tree with golden needles.
Beautiful, my goodness. So again, who's the author?
Josh Vyant.
Yes, did we just have, do you know which direction was it?
Back one.
Back,
yeah.
There we go. So
yeah, and it's got super descriptive writing. Some of the story seems a little bit exaggerated, like there's some really crazy stories in this book. But it's also got some really cool photos.
Right.
That I just want to show.
Can you show some photos? Right.
So some of you might not know Vancouver, but maybe you know Seattle. So this is actually downtown Vancouver around 1900.
Yeah, that's it. You can see it. Incredible. Downtown Vancouver, 1900.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So it's a bunch of trees, and there's a bunch of cattle they're using to drag logs out.
Right.
And then on the next page, this is a photo of one of the logs that were cut down in 1935. So those are all people there standing in front of a giant log.
My goodness. Wow. Right.
Yeah, so if you find this, I found it at the thrift store. I've seen it at the thrift store a few times. It's a super awesome book. I read it all in within a week just because I couldn't stop reading it.
Well, great. What a wonderful book review. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that brings us more or less to the end. So I'm going to show you something also exciting. Let me just get back to the Japan map here. 1 second. Let me just get this smaller. 1 second. Where did we go? Yeah, here we go. So right back. So I just wanted to show you some of the gear Thank goodness David Hancock is coming along because he's taking zero photographic equipment, almost nothing. And I'm taking my this thing along. If you've never ever seen an 800mm lens packed up, by the way, if I expand it, it's even more. That's the monster, one of the monsters I'm taking along to hopefully show you stellar sea eagles on the ice and many other things. I'll be lying probably in the ice in order to do that, but I can't wait to do this. I have a special type of mount where I can put my iPhone in the back. If we have a signal, I'll be trying to show you that live. If not, I'll be showing it. It's an absolute bomb, but that's one of the things that's coming along to Japan, okay, along with a 4K video camera and many other things. So, ooh, it's heavy, but yep. So that's coming along. So you know this is really serious business, and I think we're going to get some very unique pictures. By the way, those of you who are on Patreon, there'll be loads of pictures. Hopefully, if I don't mess it up, which so far I have never messed things up, but it can always happen. Oh, we have an incoming call, so we'll take one more. So let's just do that. 1 second. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's that, please?
Dr. Sassy, this is Glenn Hazel Woody. I felt so bad. I know the answer, but I'll forfeit the prize.
No. What answer do you know? That's a question. Because there's only one. You can.
Is it a scrape? SCRAPE?
You're
That's
good.
correct.
You're good. So you know the answer, and you will not forfeit it. You are going to be. You're going to.
Waited and hoped that somebody called in, so that.
Yeah, thank you for
Well-
calling.
I hope that's the answer.
Well, unfortunately, you'll have to have one of my pictures now. I'm sorry, but that's just the punishment you're going to get now for calling in. So that's part of the deal. You'll have to say, "Oh, not another one. Here we go again." Okay. Well, thanks.
All right, so thank you so much. I love you. And the show's
Thanks
wonderful.
for calling. Thank you, fine. Bye.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for the questions. You're wonderful.
You're okay. Thank you, fine. Oh, hi. Bye. Bye. Thanks. Okay. Oops. There we go. So, yeah, we force one of my pictures again. So it's just the way it goes, unfortunately. So that's all I can offer is another eagle picture and another one. Anyway, it's a good joke. So thanks, Glenn Hazelwoody, for calling in. So I just wanted to say I'm so excited, really so excited about this Japan trip. So you just saw my equipment. I've got a lot more. It's going to go into the hand luggage, and it's going to go all the way there. And my goodness, I really can't wait. The cell phone will go on the back. It's going to get the... I just thank you so much for the donations. That covers my costs for Japan as far as live streaming is concerned, which is marvelous. So you've helped, you've covered the costs more than necessary. So that is really wonderful. So I promise I will broadcast whenever possible. I can't broadcast, of course, when we're in the middle of nowhere. You understand that, but I will do whatever I can to keep this an incredible experience. Okay, so yeah, hold your breath. Okay.
And the pictures on Patreon, I'm also helping out with Patreon.
Yes.
So I'm going to start posting some blog posts on there and some different updates. So if I can't be part of the show when Christian's traveling, I can help out with Patreon.
Yeah, so Rebecca is going to post lots of nice things on Patreon for all of you who are so kind to contribute. So thank you very much. And we'll keep you updated with some pictures. Sorry for some of the ones that didn't work last time. We didn't manage to get the pictures, but we're correcting that. And in a few days, you're going to get pictures. So we are very grateful for that. Right. Okay. That's fine. I pray no connecting stop, says Gentleman Ghost. I'm just going to have a safe and wonderful trip, says Creek Climbing. Thank you very much. That is wonderful. And I'm just going to look quickly what we have here. Maximus Eagle Owl. Sometimes they're called scrape. Yes, you are right. That is completely correct. Carrie Combline says, hello from California. That is very nice. And have a safe trip. We will. And thank you, Kathleen Steele Larson. Thank you for both sharing. And it was so enjoyable. And we also say thank you to all on Periscope. Thanks so much. So I'll be this weekend. I'll be start to organize my suitcase and so on. I'll be sharing all that. And you're going to get a lot of live comments from David Hancock right on the spot there, which is 10 times more exciting than having having him here on the live show where we haven't even been there yet. So thank you very much. So I'm going to slowly get, let's see how we do this again. Yeah, the live stream's off. So I'm first going to say bye to all the friends on Facebook and thank you so much.
Bye, thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. Okay, and then we're going to say to Periscope, bye and thanks very much for joining us. And finally, YouTube is always a little bit more complicated. We have to be careful. So thanks everybody, and really wonderful for being. So it's going to be hello from Hokkaido. I'm going to be far ahead in the Far East or the Wild West, whichever direction you wish to travel. It's going to be west from me, and I cannot wait to see these beautiful eagles and so on. And so I really can't wait to share this with you. Okay, so thank you so much for being with us and for all the confidence that you have and the trust. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks guys. See you later.
Bye.